Hello, this is Rory with the Love Chat, and today's topic is the dumper happy? Now, this is video number 259. If you have a question you would like for me to consider featuring on my channel, please write it in a comment below, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and hit like, as it really does help me out in the ratings. And of course, if you would like coaching on your situation, just visit my website and use the special coupon code TLC2020. My website is thelovechat.net/coaching. Now let's get into why you're all actually here. The question posed is the dumper happy? Is your ex happy? Right? The relationship is over, and one of the greatest fears that the dumpee can have is that the dumper is happy with their choice. So, how do we determine this? What time frames are we talking about? There's all these questions that get thrown into this one overarching umbrella question. And I guess what I would really have you consider is time as the biggest factor, but not as the overlord, right? So what do I mean by that? Because this one's a bit tricky. Just because it's been a decent period of time does not mean the dumper is completely 100% happy with their decision. However, they may be content with their decision. They may have decided that coming back to you is not something that they want to do, that breaking up with you was a wise choice for them, maybe because the relationship was toxic, or maybe just because you guys grew apart and they didn't want to stick around to see if you could grow back together. Now, on the flip side, maybe they're miserable. Maybe they're really, really unhappy. So what are some non-manipulative, non-mind-reading signs that we can see that will tell us if they're happy or unhappy? Well, they're going to be the obvious ones, right? They're calling you. They're trying to do whatever they can to get you to be their friend. They are texting you about things that they don't need to text you about, asking you questions that you know full well they can answer for themselves. But it can be hard to list these, and I really don't like to. I know that you guys ask all the time, and I try and give you little bits and pieces that I think will do no harm. But you have to understand that ultimately what you're asking me to do is to answer a question that involves, no matter how tactfully I put it, a bit of mind reading. Our job is to try not to do that. So instead of answering the question directly, because I don't want to get into mind reading, I don't want to get into that which we cannot prove, and frankly, that which focuses on another person, instead, let's think about how you might feel in this situation. You know yourself a hell of a lot better than you know anyone else because, well, you're you. So, if you had to dump somebody, you were just genuinely unhappy in the relationship, and yet you spent months to years in an otherwise happy relationship with this person, do you believe it would really be that easy to just walk away? Do you truly think that if you spent, I don't know, arbitrary number, 2 years with somebody, and you had tons of laughs, tons of amazing dates, tons of great sex, tons of intimate moments and memories shared, tons of restaurants visited, and carnivals and concerts and whatever else, do you think it's just that easy to go poof, all gone? And the reason that I posed this video is pretty much the same reason that I pose any videos, that I decide to take any videos, is you guys ask a lot about it. But the real reason that I chose this one in particular is because it just completely ignores the human element in all of this. The question posed is the dumper happy? And right after a breakup, they are not necessarily happy. They are feeling relieved. All of the negativity is gone. All of the anxiety over having to break up with somebody, which, if you've never had to do it, is a miserable experience. And I would totally rather be the dumpee than the dumper every day of the week. But that anxiety and that growing anticipation of something you know when you do it is going to greatly harm another person, and you watch all of the light and happiness and hope just drain out of them as soon as you tell them, I don't want to be with you anymore. And you know that what's going to come next? What almost always comes next? The begging, the pleading, the chasing. Put yourself in those shoes for a moment. Are you happy? Are you enjoying this? Are you having fun? No, of course not. So no, you're not happy. No, nobody's happy in this situation. The dumper almost always leaves because at the point that they broke up with you, almost, again, there's outliers here. I cannot make a video that addresses everything. It's impossible. But the moment that they're breaking up with you, they are profoundly unhappy. Now, sometimes there's cheating. Sometimes there's monkey branching. Sometimes they found someone else. And it's just easier to make the transition that way for them. It's a human thing. It's not the right thing to do, but it's a human thing. We understand it. Maybe we don't agree with it, but anybody listening to this video cannot look at me and say, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. But in that moment, they're not happy. What they're trying to do is break themselves away from a situation that's been doing nothing but causing unhappiness. And what you have to understand is that in that moment, not forever, but in the moment they break up with you, they don't believe it can be fixed. They don't want to try and fix it. They have gotten themselves mentally to a state where they do not believe it is fixable. And so here comes the dumpee, the person who doesn't want any of this to happen, going, no, please don't do this. Let's just work it out. You're going to throw so many years away just because of this feeling. Come on, we can work this out. Don't you love me? Blah, 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 blah. And the dumper gets it. They understand. It sucks to be broken up with. They get it. But at that moment, they want to run from this. Now, they're going to go off. They're going to feel some relief. So at first, it is not so much that they're going to be happy. It's that they're going to be relieved, which can bring a sense of relaxation, I suppose is a better way to think about it. But is it happiness? No, it's not happiness. It's just the absence of sadness, if that makes sense. And what's more is that they don't feel that way forever. That's kind of the funny part. They get away from the situation. The relief that they feel slowly turns into this sort of emotional regression, right? And why does that happen? Well, because the sadness is starting to creep up on them. And what do they do to get away from sadness? Well, they find themselves all these different distractions. They begin acting younger than their age. They begin getting haircuts or dyeing their hair, getting all these piercings or tattoos, hanging out with people that you don't recognize or you've never met before or are much younger than them. Maybe they begin doing things that they don't normally do. Maybe they're a traditional homebody bookworm and now they're going out clubbing. And that's unusual. But are they happy? Well, they think they are. But they probably know that they're not. Now look, I'm going to pause the video real quick here and say this is not 100%. And there are some people listening to this video who suggest, I think my ex knows that us being together was not good for them, and I think they're truly happy with their decision. And that may be the case. There is no way to accurately predict every single situation. But do you guys understand why I coach the way that I coach? It's about you. It can't be about them. We can't prove this stuff, right? We cannot prove that they are happy or unhappy. We can't crack their head open and say, oh, yep, see, look right here. In the left hemisphere, it says that they're happy. We don't know. They might not even know. And if they genuinely told you, I'm happy with my decision, and you're the dumpee and you're in your anxiety, you might doubt that anyway. So that's why I try and get your focus correct. It cannot be on them. It cannot be on something we cannot control and cannot prove. Because no matter how much effort you put in, it can all be for nothing. But if you put the effort into yourself, it can all be for something, and that's the difference. So, after the emotional regression, typically, this isn't for every single case, this is simply typically what I see, they come to a state of reminiscence. And for this, I'm going to pull a quote directly out of my book. The partying and the new people aren't as fun anymore. They begin noticing that their friends aren't as available as they used to be, or all of their friends have a partner. They begin thinking of you more and reminiscing about the past late at night. Driving by restaurants or movie theaters full of memories fills them with pain. The breakup is not as easy as they expected it to be by this point. Then comes the regret. They miss you. They haven't heard from you, and they decide that they regret their choices. Maybe it was the breakup, maybe it was the way they broke up with you, but something here they regret. This is around the time you'll usually hear from them. So, is the dumper happy? Eventually they will be, yeah. Because Just as you eventually will get over this, so will they. But you knew that, and that was not what you were afraid of. You want to know, are they happy as soon as they do the breaking up? Is my shot lost? And the answer is, they don't even know yet. Now, this is barring any serious situation with physical or emotional abuse, cheating, stealing, things like that. Obviously, if you've done something very grievously bad to your ex and they break up with you for it, then I don't know that they're happy, but more probably resolute about not coming back. But even then, I've seen crazier cases. The point of this video is not to give you false hope. It's to stop you from giving yourself false doom. The only thing worse than suffering is suffering stupidly. And you don't have to. I want you to be good to yourself. And what's more, to further understand the mind of a dumper, particularly when it's happening, is I'm going to be bringing on a couple of dumpers onto the podcast at some point. We'll probably be doing it in a live format, and I'll keep you guys up to date about that and when that's happening. Obviously, coronavirus makes things a little harder. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it brought a human element to this whole situation. It's so easy to be buried into our own emotions and forget that someone else is on the other side of this thing, thinking and hurting and feeling, so that's all I had for today. If you found my video helpful, frankly put, please subscribe and hit like. It really does help me out, helps my channel grow. If there's videos you want me to cover, please leave me a comment below and tell me what that video topic might be. And, of course, if you want extra videos every week, private live streams with me, and free giveaways of my best-selling book, just visit my Patreon. Patreon.com/thelovechat. Until next time.